In 1996, God moved these three women together to share his love through music. Join me as we hear the story of Southern Charm.
How long have you been together as friends?
May 1996.
May 1996 is when we got together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But we knew each other.
We knew Diane from
Johnny Highs in Arlington, Texas. But I had a country and gospel show, like an Opry, in Mansfield, Texas. And they came on as soloists. And there was, and y'all can jump in anytime, but there was I got a phone call from Karen. I didn't know them. We had auditions for our shows, and they were phenomenal and became staples in the show. But Karen had contacted me because there was a song that she wanted to sing with somebody. So go ahead and take it from there.
Well, I was driving along one day, and on the radio, I heard this incredible song called "In the Presence of Jehovah." And I loved it so much. And I wanted to sing it, but I didn't want to sing by myself. And the only other people that I knew that sang were Kathy and Diane, but I didn't even really know them. So I just bowled it up, and I called Kathy because I knew her through the Opry that she had. I'd introduced myself, and I said, "Can you come and just listen to this song?"
That night. It was that night.
Yeah. And she said, yes. And so Kathy was like, "Well, remember Diane?" And who could forget Diane? Yes, I do. Let's call her and see if she can come. Well, we had no idea what was going on in Diane's life at the time, but we called her and asked her if she would come, and it's dark. And
it's night.
It's
night.
It's nighttime. Yes.
Yeah. Later we found out it was hard for her to leave the house.
Yeah.
Depression.
Yes.
I was in deep depression, and I had trouble going places and leaving the house.
And we didn't know that at the time because we barely knew.
Yeah. And she was a country singer. And she had sang at Shoji Tabuchi's in Branson. So she was excellent. We didn't know this until later, but Diane said if we would have told her it was a Jesus song, she would have said no.
I would have said
so
no.
Why?
Because she felt like she wasn't living for Jesus.
Well, we went to Karen's house, and she started playing the song "In the Presence of Jehovah." We were in her bedroom. And we were around this great big huge karaoke machine. The thing was massive, but we were sitting down on the bedroom floor
with a raspberry.
With
raspberry. Yes, we are Southern.
And Karen started playing the song "In the Presence of Jehovah," and Kathy and I had never heard the song before. We didn't know the words, but when the chorus came in, Kathy and I just started singing harmony like we'd known the song forever. And I'll be honest with you, at that time in my life, I was so lost. I didn't know what was happening, but it scared me. I didn't know what it was. Well, it was Jesus. It was Jesus working in my life at the time. But we sang that song at Kathy's Opry, and we were asked to come back and sing another song. And I thought, okay, one more song, just one more song. That's it. We sang one more song. We were asked to come back a third time, and I said, okay, this is it. This is it. No more Jesus songs. I ain't going for it. Well, we came back. We sang our third Jesus song. Somebody came up and asked us to do a concert of 12 songs.
12 songs. 2 weeks later.
In 2 weeks' time, yeah.
And we knew 3. Well, by the third time that we sang together, I was able to see what these two had in their life that I had been missing my entire life. And
it'll make me cry.
Yeah, it's gonna make me cry. But it was at that point where I had to decide whether I was in or I was out. And I made the right choice.
Yes.
And Karen gave me some of the best advice ever, because my life was such a mess. I didn't feel like I could be up there singing Jesus music, but she said, you sing for Jesus and he'll fix all the rest.
Yes.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yes.
And we started singing and we never stopped.
Never stopped.
17 years.
At that time, before we did that concert, I couldn't believe we learned 12 songs in 2 weeks. That was just Jesus again.
Mhm.
And but we knew we had to come up with a name. I mean, we didn't start with this one song that Karen wanted us to sing with that ever in mind to start a group.
Mhm.
But God had other purposes with it, and it just was so generic and organically formed, and it's just so sweet. And so we just decided we need to have a name, and Southern Charm was born.
Beautiful. Now, I want to know, what was your funniest moment?
Oh,
Just
boy.
one?
You want the
Oh, you have
list?
many.
You want the list? Oh, we have so many, and that's just what's so fun. But one of the things, here, Diane, she gets nervous at times, especially on interviews like this and things like that. She's done great, she's harder on herself. But it was one of our first interviews with Deacon Don Evans in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
And our first radio interview. And Diane, I'll let you take it from there.
Throw questions out there, and the girls would answer it, and I could just sit back and agree, because I don't speak well. But right off the bat, he says, "So, Diane,"
And this is live morning radio. Yes.
my
And her husband from here to whoa.
I cannot make a single thought process in my head. And he said, "So, tell me about Southern Charm, Diane." And I went, well, we sing for Jesus, and if it blesses someone, okay. If it doesn't, we just bless ourselves.
And then Kathy and I were looking at Diane like, oh, how we gonna get out of this? We bless ourselves. But Deacon John, he
was
cut,
good.
and then he came back, and I understand what you're trying to say. And we just bless ourselves.
We're two or more gathered together.
Yeah.
Oh, so wonderful.
So give me another one, Kat. Give me another one.
Fun times. Before Diane and I were married, of course, Karen used to try to sell us.
Right. For anybody that buys 10 Southern Charm CDs, you can take one of them out to dinner. Well, let me tell you, we sold the fire out of those CDs. And there'd be those little old men out there, though. They'd be, try and get their wallets out, and their little wives would be just elbowing them. And they'd be like, get with me later. We were selling those CDs. But of course, I never let them go to dinner. No. There's this beautiful family that lives kind of like by Bowie, Texas, which is out of Fort Worth. And we would go sing over there in these little churches from time to time. And there was this family, this grandma, that would bring this little redheaded boy, to our concerts. And he had very severe cerebral palsy. And he was very hard to understand. But I also have a child with special needs. So because of my son, we're like magnets. The three of us are like magnets to children with special needs or adults. And so this little guy, we got him on the stage with us in his wheelchair. And that started a love affair
Yes. Like
that still, till this day, from time to time, I get a text from his grandmother, Darlene, with a picture of Jamie, and he still has Southern Charms autographed pictures all over his little room. But yeah, Jamie.
But we would, anytime he's in the audience, wherever we were singing, we wanted to make sure to pull him up because he knew every song and would sing them with us.
Yes, and and he loved for us to kiss his little head.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, he would come in all cleaned up, and he would leave with Southern Charm lipstick. I mean, on his eyelids, just wherever we could get our lips on his little head. Yes. And he didn't want it washed off either. No.
What was your saddest moment, and what was your happiest?
You know, even though we're not blood, but we feel, we have such a connection.
But we're kindred spirits.
And kindred spirits that it has just made it easy. It was just God formed, and I think that's why it just made it so easy to be happy.
And it wasn't, we weren't just together when we were singing.
Right.
We had a sisterhood. We have gone through some of the hardest things in life together. We've cried together. We've prayed together. We've fussed at each other together. The relationship we have is so much more than just singing. And that is still, today is the first time that we've got to be together since our concert last year. And you just pick up right where you leave off. It's like there was never a span of time that you weren't hanging out together. We've been through anything that happened to us since May of 1996. We have gone through together. Whether that's joyful, heartbreak, and it's been all of that.
But I think the saddest was when we stopped singing.
Yeah. When we knew after 17 years, and goodness, some years it was 160 dates a year.
And they still work full-time jobs.
Yes. And I say we did. And she was the best driver ever. And would, because she knew Monday morning we had to get up
and go to work.
There was one time we were coming from Kansas City. And it was wee hours. And she would drive in 17 years, never had an accident. And
a few speeding tickets. You can edit that out.
No, if we did get pulled over, we got away with it. We just start singing.
We give them the CD and smile.
Hey, but don't you know us? Don't you know us?
But seriously, but whenever, Karen and I, we all had grandkids, and, it just had come a time, and God orchestrated time of my husband and I moving to Arkansas, and just things that happened after that that showed us without a doubt that it was time. But it was sad.
Grandkids, did you get that part? Yes. So Kathy and I, we became grandmas the same day, 4 hours apart, to grandsons.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Diane already had been a grandma, a Gigi.
A Gigi.
And that stands for Grandpa's Girl. Yes. And my grandson was here, but her grandson was not. It was just a matter of time. We knew this girl was going to be heading to Arkansas. And we had to give her our blessings because we knew that she wanted what we had here.
Right.
And so off she went. Now she's a grandmother to like 21 children. if you count all those that she babysits, and she's got a daycare that they all call her Grandma.
What was the most moving, where you felt the Holy Spirit just moving through the audience? Where did that take place?
Wow. Again, we had a lot of those moments and a lot of them. And whenever it did happen, I remember we would get in the van and it'd be just silence because we were still in it and just soaking it in. And we knew that he was there, and we didn't want to we just wanted to continue. And we wouldn't talk. We would just sit for a long time on our way home.
Yes.
Did you feel people coming to Christ?
Yes, coming to the altar, and and that was some of our favorite thing. Also, is to be down there with them at the altar and praying with them.
Yes,
and that was that just was so meaningful to us.
We sang. Remember that church, y'all, that we sang at where the pastor got saved?
Oh, yes.
We were singing at this one church where the pastor of the church got saved.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
I've forgotten about that.
Yes.
How did he come to Christ there? Did he just he just gave his life over as you were singing, or they came later, or how did that happen?
It was after we got done singing.
After we got done singing.
He got up. He got up on the platform and admitted that he needed Jesus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. And we were all praying for him. We love to pray for people. Singing was what the Lord used to get us into the churches or into the events, to get people to listen to us. But we love to share our story, our life story. So singing was the avenue that the Lord allowed us to do, where we could share our redemption story and give hope to someone that might need hope. And before we started talking to you today, we were remembering this one beautiful young man named Stephen. We were singing in Odessa, Texas. And you remember.
Well, we were singing at this, it was an event at like the college auditorium or something. And later we found out because Stephen came up to us and
for the altar call and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he had been in Odessa alone on a job. He was in construction, right?
Yes.
And but as he was driving, I think he was deciding whether to go to this bar.
That's right. It was
to meet the others that he, I guess, was there with. But he just felt something. He said something. Compelling him to go to whatever was going on. He could see the sign. He could see the cars and everything.
But he didn't know what was going on.
No. He walked in, sat at the back, and stayed there the whole time. And you take the next part.
And then we always, at the end of a concert, we would give an invitation for people to know Jesus. And he came down. We didn't know his story, but he came down and we prayed at the altar. And then he shared with us his story, that he was on his way to a bar, but that, like Kathy said, he felt compelled to pull into this college event, that he didn't have any idea what was going on, but he came. And then we fell so in love with this young man. And it didn't just stop there. It was how long later he'd gotten married. And his wife.
I'm trying to remember how. Years. Yeah, it was several years.
Yeah. Yes. And what happened then?
And then we got a letter from his wife that said that
we had never talked to her before or met her.
We had never met
but
her
it was
before.
just she wanted to make sure that we knew that he had passed away. And but what a difference that how God had used Southern Charm to change his life. And it was a beautiful letter.
It
And, you know,
was.
and it's things like that that are so encouraging, you know, to anybody who's in any sort of ministry or not, or just to tell someone about Jesus and hear from them later and stuff. It's just so encouraging that God is there. He is using you, and he's not done.
He played our CDs up until the time he passed. As he was passing, he was playing our CDs. So even though we hadn't seen him in years, we were with him in that time, which was really special to us.
And he was from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yes, from Nebraska. Such a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And here we are talking about it all these years later.
Yeah.
You know, but I think in our ministry, what the Lord revealed to us is that he can use broken pieces, you know,
Yeah.
because we all came broken. And we learned that God can take broken pieces and make a whole. And that is what he did for us individually and as Southern Charm.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful visual, because for me, when you said that, I envisioned a clay pot, you know, because he's the potter and we're the clay.
Yes.
And he fit your three pieces together
Yes.
and made you beautiful.
Why am I amazed when the blessings start to fall? Why am I amazed at the one?
Yeah, so that is, I think it was one of the last concerts toward the end of our when we knew it was going to be the end of our touring, because I had already moved to Texas.
Arkansas.
I mean, the other place, Arkansas. And then would return to fulfill obligations of concerts we already had scheduled. And so this was one of the churches that we were singing at. And I remember with it getting closer to, with each concert, it got closer to the end. And so it was always just very emotional. But the song that we were singing is called You Amaze Me. It's one that I wrote, and God amazes me.
What inspired you to write these songs?
What inspired you to write your song?
The song that I wrote, I was just at a point, because I was new to this whole relationship with Jesus. The whole thought of Jesus having to die for me really hit me hard. Because I thought, I'm so guilty, and he's so not. And I was the one that deserved to be on the cross, but he took my place. And I don't even remember what the name of the song was.
It should have been me.
It should have been me, because that's
Beautiful
exactly what I
song.
was thinking. It
Yes.
should have been me.
Yes.
Because he was perfect in every way, and yet here I know my life story. I know everything I've done, and for him to do that for me, that I was at work one day, and it just really hit me, and I wrote it that day at work.
Beautiful.
And what about you, sister?
And me on You Amaze Me, most of the time I'm alone. And sometimes I think, man, if there was a camera somewhere, because I like to just let go and be worshiping God in my own self, and just dancing, just taking him in, you know, as much as I can. And I remember one day at that time, I was thinking of how I'm just so amazed of how he has blessed me, and all that he's done in my life, and his faithfulness to his promises, and that even whenever I am faithless, he's still faithful, and just all those wonderful, good, amazing things. And then I thought, why should I be amazed? He's God. And so that's how, you know, that's where the song developed from, is just one day, just me and him, and in awe of his goodness.
That's
And the
beautiful.
only song I ever wrote.
Come on with it, sister. We got a different kind of award.
We were singing in Magnolia, Texas, and Diane was supposed to be doing the lead, and this place was packed. And she forgot her words. Well, so did we. We didn't know what she was supposed to be singing. And all I remember is there was this, out in the front, there was like a dining room, but where you check out, there was a candy rack. And it had these big, huge Snickers bars. And, well, if you could see my whole self, you would know that I am very fond of Snickers. Anyway, and so somebody needs to be singing something. So I just started singing about Jesus and Snickers. And
Good for you.
Well, it wound up so popular.
Yeah, we kind of chimed in.
Yeah.
We just play off of each other.
It was so funny. That night after the concert, people were coming to our product table to buy that CD.
Yeah.
The one that had the Jesus and Snickers on it.
It should have had an award for sure.
Oh, my goodness.
After that,
So-
there was another church we went to that had Snickers in
Oh,
their
everywhere. Oh, my gosh. They would have those little bite-sized Snickers. Yes. Oh, it was wonderful. Yes. But that's my songwriting. You know, I thought maybe I needed to throw that in there as well.
That's awesome.
It's not spiritual, but
It's okay.
Snickers can be.
Now, I just saw Diane, like, rubbing her eyes, and I think she just loves this whole 3-girl group that you've had.
we all
do.
do.
I think it blesses her, and I think it kind of, right, Diane, am I right?
Everything good I've learned from these two over 17 years. I didn't have that kind of upbringing where it was all love and joy and acceptance, and to get that from these two was life-changing. It made me realize that God was not an angry God. That he wasn't a
Good word. Good word,
God.
sister.
God is not an angry God. Excuse me while I write that down.
That God is loving, he's forgiving, he's accepting, because that was huge for me, because I had never felt that before. And yeah, I get around these girls, I do get emotional.
There you go. So you're writing songs while we're interviewing.
Yeah, that's my next song. But there's got to be a line in there about Snickers.
Yeah.
God is not an angry God.
He's not an angry God, but give him a Snickers.
God is not an angry God.
He's
You
not.
know, I work at Cleveland Pregnancy Center, and I get to share Jesus with young ladies that are in their worst, what they think is their worst time of their life. And I get to say to them, God is not mad at you. And in saying that to them, I realize he's not mad at me either. He is not an angry God. You're right.
Well, you girls are you're just loving on each other, and I love that you're
That's
here.
what we do. You know,
Aw.
seriously, we're on stage doing this.
Yeah.
Aw.
We start out separated, but we move our microphone stands as close as they can get. And we're always holding hands. Oh my gosh. So when we pray, we hold hands, right? We automatically just grab each other's hands and we'll pray. And so many times in prayer circles, you'll hear somebody say, "Oh, we got to hold hands because Southern Chart's here." So, I mean, yes, this is where this is our natural right
a very
here. Yes.
comfortable place.
Yes. Yes.
It's home.
Yes.
It's your home. That's with each other. Your home.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
What was it like, your last goodbye concert?
Ooh, hard. Very hard.
Emotional.
Very emotional.
And the people that were there knew it was our last. So it was also emotional for them as well. because we've had the blessing of having people love on us and pour into us our entire ministry. And yes, it was very difficult. It's still difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
About 3 years ago, we started having reunion concerts in Mesquite, Texas, and it was wonderful. Joe Gordon had the show and just wanted us to come back each year and have reunion concerts. So that was really sweet. They no longer have that particular concert like they did. I'm fumbling. So
And
you might have to record her.
Yeah. And we said, well, we sang the same songs every year, but we're at the age now where that's what people want to hear.
That's
you know,
right.
It's
That's
sort
right.
of like, I mean, Elton John does not write new songs. He's still singing his old stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Southern Charm. Is he writing new songs?
I don't know.
You're riding that wave.
He does.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we've got big sunglasses.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. But seriously, we just sing, you know, if it touches our hearts for Jesus, then we sing it.
Good.
When people were sending us songs to record, first they had to minister to us. It couldn't just be that it was a beautiful song or that it had pretty words. It had to minister to our spirit first, and then that would help us to decide whether we would record it. So because we don't have the time together that we used to, that we could learn new songs and stuff, we still sing our old stuff. But we had 7 CDs, 6 CDs to choose from. Now, those first ones were recorded so high, we will never sing those again.
We sound like chipmunks.
Never. I mean, never. So, but the last one, well, it's so funny, girl. With each CD, they got lower and lower and lower. The last one, we're all bass singers, but we really feel comfortable there now.
It's a good place.
It's a good place. Right? Okay, because I'm kind of thirsty.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Okay.
This is called Entertainer's Secret. You better edit that out of there. Now,
Don't edit that.
For all you gospel singers out there that started out in one key and ended up in another, this is it. Can you see Entertainer's Secret right there? Yes. 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 Now, this is probably 10 years old.
Probably toxic.
So, listen, if I don't hit all my notes, that means it's past its expiration. You can leave this in there if you want to, sister. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Jesus, Savior, pilot me over life's tempestuous seas, unknown waves before me roll, hiding rocks and treacherous shoal, chart and compass come from thee. Jesus, Savior, pilot me, as a mother steals her child. Thou canst hush the ocean wild, boisterous waves obey thy will, when thou sayest to them, be still, wondrous sovereign of the sea. Jesus, Savior, At last I near the shore, and the fearful breakers roar twixt me and the peaceful rest. Then while leaning on thy breast, may I hear thee say to me, fear not, I will pilot thee. Fear not, I will pilot thee. Oh, man, that's been a long time. Yes. A hymn of praise. That's the only reason at all that we can sing for him. Yes. He's a good, good Father.
Yes.
Oh,
Amen.
my goodness. Now, I'm going to show you something that's going to make you laugh. Back when we first started singing that song, this is the little hymn book that we would sing out of.
With the little words.
With the little words. Now, look at what we do now. That's the same little hymn book.
When you spell words.
Yeah.
The trick.
You know, now you know our secret. You can share it with all your fans. Because, listen, you may as well tell them now. It's going to happen to them, too. Just get. They might think, oh, no. Oh, yeah, it will. If the Lord lets you live long enough, you're going to need bigger time.
My way when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, even so it is well with my soul.
There he is.
There you go.
Yes.
That's a Southern choice.
He was our first husband. The others came with him, and David and then Jimmy. Yes. Beautiful.